Welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live, Facebook and YouTube. I am Dr. Dare, and welcome to the show tonight. We have two great topics tonight that we're going to be discussing. Join in. Once you come in, click share. Our first topic will be actress Monique went viral over the weekend after she took to Instagram to shame black women out of wearing bonnets and pajamas out in public. Do you think it is okay for women to go out in public? And let's see what the rest of that says. Uh, yeah, do men go out of the house inappropriately dressed? Let's talk about that. And number two is parents at a New York school are upset because their first graders were being shown a video about masturbation. Do you think it's too soon to introduce sex education to kids in first grade? Those are the two topics that we are discussing tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure when you come in, you click share. Happy Friday. I hope everybody had a great week. It was a short week, but it still seemed like it was a busy week for me. Um, yeah, still saw a lot of clients, still did my work at my full time, still taught my Zumba class, whether still worked out. I noticed a lot of people are not wearing their masks, but the good thing is that the numbers don't seem to be rising. So, hopefully we're getting out of the woods of the pandemic thing. But welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Topic Hop Friday. Hey, Karen, good evening. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. When you come in, click share, click share, click share. So, we have two interesting topics tonight. Of course, everybody's been talking about Monique, the comedian, who got online this week. I think it was this week or last week or this week, one of the times, and got on and she started criticizing. I guess she went to an airport and saw, like, she said it was everywhere. A bunch of people, a bunch of black women um, out there with bonnets on and pajamas and slippers, and so she posted this video saying that women shouldn't go out like that. So that's one of our topics today, and that's where it stemmed from. Our second topic is, there was a post. There is a private school, a private New York school, where I think there's this video. Well, it's like a sex education video where it's talking about masturbation, and the parents were outraged because I guess they didn't feel like that was appropriate for their first graders, and so that is where the second topic came from. So those are the two topics we will be talking about tonight, but we haven't started yet. I was just giving an overview of where I got them from. But welcome, 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 Karen. I hope you had a great week. Um, Everybody else, welcome, welcome, welcome. Chime in and tell me how your week has been. Even though we only had, what do we have? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So not a full week, but it felt like one regardless. And thank you, Karen. Thank you. I look good. Okay. Thanks. So, yes, we will get started in a second. I'd like to give people a chance to get in. It is a Friday evening. I noticed that the traffic is back to normal in Atlanta. The traffic is back to normal in Atlanta. Yes. So, if you were used to driving to a certain place and not being late or anything because the traffic, well, it's back, and so you have to prepare yourself for it. That's how this week has been. Hey, Tennille Johnson. Hey, busy week, but glad I could finally join. Yeah, glad you could join. Congratulations on the new job too. Woo! Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, so we have two topics today. The first one is, of course, we talked about is actress and comedian Monique. Talked about women wearing bonnets and slippers outside, and she felt like it was inappropriate. So that's our first topic. Second topic, we're talking about, is it too early to introduce children to sex education at first grade? Um, so once everybody comes in, we'll get onto those topics. But welcome to the Dr. Dare Show live on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, yes, yes. So, you're welcome. We'll get started momentarily. See, Karen's on YouTube and Tanil's on Facebook. So we'll give people a chance to join in. Nothing's happened in the news that I could think of this week that stands out to me. Um, like I said, just everybody's people are not wearing their mask now, so you know things are getting back to somewhat normal, if there's such a thing. Um, yeah. Anything outstanding this week? Not that I can think of. But these two topics popped in my head. I saw them all over the internet, and I thought, oh, those will be interesting topics to talk about. So when we, in momentarily, we will get started when more people come on. Tanil, Karen says, congratulations on your new job. Woo! I am sore for some reason. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm so sore. Uh-uh. Yes, yes, yes. We will get started moment. How's everybody been feeling this week? Have you stopped wearing your mask? Are you continuing to wear your mask? How is that looking for everybody? Are you back to work face to face? I know a lot of companies went back for the month of June 1st, kind of getting back to that face to face. I've actually been doing that for a while, but yeah. So let's go. Yeah, we will start in a second. So we'll start at uh 8:40. What's everybody doing for the weekend? Oops, I don't want that one. Let's switch it out. Ugh. Oh, that's a story. Yep, welcome, 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 everybody. Kara says she's masked up every day. I plan on wearing a mask for a long time to come. Yeah, I've actually kind of gotten used to it. So it's like when I don't have one, I kind of forget. Oh, Tanil says still wearing mask and will continue to do so. Yep, I think we all feel that way now. We've all gotten used to it now, so it's like I said, it's strange to not have it on. And I don't know about you guys. I started thinking about like what COVID did show us is how we do exchange bodily fluids with people on a daily basis, which is kind of gross, right? It's like you didn't realize that just having a conversation, you're actually exchanging respiratory drops, and which sounds kind of gross. But yeah, so we are going to get started. We'll wait for everybody else to come in and join. Our first question, we usually do two questions. The first one is actress Monique went viral over the weekend after she took to Instagram to shame black women out of wearing bonnets and pajamas out in public. Do you think it is okay for women to go out in public dressed like that? And then what about the men? I noticed there were no comments about the men's dress or so what do you guys think? Do you think it's okay for women to go out in a bonnet, in pajamas. These women, where Monique was at, she was at the Atlanta airport actually, and she said she didn't see just a few women, a few black women with these bonnets and pajamas on. She saw like a whole bunch of people. Um, yeah, so what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's okay for women to go out and in public with bonnets and pajamas and slippers, or does it even matter? Let me know what you guys think on that one. Because Monique, she just felt like black women and black men, when we call each other kings and queens, that you're not really representing yourself. And she's not saying that you have to go out there and be in full makeup or you know, what she said, lace fronts and all of that stuff. She was saying she wasn't thinking that, that wasn't her train of thought. She was just basically like, you should be presentable because you are representing yourself. And what are your thoughts on that? And Karen says, you better preach on that. We were exchanging too many germs pre-COVID. You know what, Karen? Yeah, Michael Jackson had that all figured out, right? Because he was wearing masks all the time. So, but yeah, that's our first topic. What do you guys think of that? Do you think it's okay for women to just run into the grocery store with a bonnet and pajamas and slippers on? Or do you think she should at least put on some, like, just regular clothing, And like Monique says, she's not saying that you had to be dressed to the nines with full makeup and all of that stuff. She's just like being presentable, you know, when you go out. What are your thoughts? I'll give mine after everybody gives theirs. But I do notice that there is a like, what is, I can't think of the word I was thinking of, but there is a bias, I guess, kind of sort of, when men go out with, their pants hanging down or do rags or things like that. So what do you guys think? But then of course social media, um in the Instagram video, Monique is sitting, but she's in a room. She has on a robe, and then of course people kind of pointed that out, like, "Hey, well, you sitting on social media in a robe on talking about women with pajamas and bonnets on and stuff like that." So let me know if you guys can hear me. I see the numbers keep jumping back and forth. So usually when it does that, um, this platform is not acting right if it does that. So let me know if you guys can hear me. I'll check myself. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Dun, dun, dun. Let me see if I can hear myself. I'm going to check on on the phone. Oh, there you go, Tanil. So you can't hear me out there. Okay, so Tanil says, I think Monique's intentions were genuine. I think it's a generational thing. My generation grew up being told how to present themselves in public and how people will judge you based on that. I think the younger generation has more of a carefree attitude and freedom of public appearance. I like that, Tanil, because I think so too. And it's almost a good thing, but it's almost a bad thing. So I think, like you said, the younger generation have that sense of entitlement, which I think is a good thing. I think because I think the way that we were raised, the older ones, older people like me and myself, and you always had to put on these, you had to follow these rules and guidelines so much when in everything, and that's a lot of stress and a lot of headache. And the millennials are like, you know what, I'm going out to do whatever I want, so I can see both sides. So Karen says, um I'm with Monique. I did not find it appealing at all. I too saw more women that I can count in the ATL airport with PJs, bonnet, slippers on. I'm all about being comfortable too, but it's too lazy. And I get it, Karen. Yeah, I get going to the airport because maybe you have this long flight and you want to feel relaxed. But what if this is just a hypothetical? What if you saw your favorite crush, or you saw a celebrity that or you ran into somebody that you were trying to impress, or a business partner or something like that, and you were in your bonnet and your slippers. So that being said, Tanil says, I would not be caught in public with a bonnet, but it's also about what I do professionally and how my clients would judge me if they saw me like that. Yep, Tennille, that's what I was just kind of saying. Like, what if you run into somebody like a business partner or, like you said, clients? Because we see clients, and it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing in our society that we instantly judge each other for the way we look. So I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like we should always be presentable when we go out. Now, if you just run into the, but know what? I still, if I run to the store, I just put on something that looks decent, run to the store and come back. Because that's kind of what Monique was saying. Like, I don't want you to be in full makeup and with lace fronts or whatever that stuff is. And hey, Tanisha, welcome, welcome, welcome. Karen Tennille says, no, Tennille Karen says, preach, preach, preach. Hey, Tanisha, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, we're on our first topic. We're talking about Monique and her speech about women going out in bonnets and slippers and things like that. And Tennille said that, growing up in her time and back in the day, that you were taught not to go out, you should be presentable, and I feel the same way. It's just you never know who you're going to run into, and then what if something happens and you're stuck outside and you're in slippers and a bonnet, and but these people are actually in front of people at the airport, because Monique was saying she went to the airport. It was not only a few people, it was a lot of women, and she specifically pointed out black women, um, in slippers and bonnets and all of that stuff. Cause I know growing up, it's like you take a shower, you put on your best clothes, and then you go out. That's the way out. Now being older, I will just throw on, if I need to run to the store, I'll throw on shorts, t-shirt, socks, and tennis shoes, or but I'm always, because I don't want to run into, like Tennille was saying, we have clients. I don't want to run into clients. You never know. Like I said, what if you run into your crush, or you run into your famous celebrity, or there's a business opportunity presented before you, and you're sitting there in a bonnet and slippers, and what are your thoughts? I'm just going on and talking and talking and talking. Tanisha, how's your week been? Have you been busy? I know it's just like a 4 day. I mean, what was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 day week this week, but it felt like a full week for me. Um, Tanil says, if you support bonnets, PJs in public, are you okay with young men sagging their pants, showing their underwear? And that's why I added on to this question, Tanil, because I feel like there was some kind of bias. I feel like, and that's what we do in our society, is women are always put on this stage and they have to perform and they have to be this way and that way, but men can kind of just get by and not be judged. And so that's why I added to the end of this question. It was like, well, what about men when they go out with sagging pants, just like you said, Tania, or even do rags on, um, or something inappropriate than being out in public? Because I see do rags all the time. Got to be honest, you know. And I'm always just thinking professionally, like you said to Neil, and like Karen says she's with Monique. She understood what Monique was saying. And like I said, for those who just got on, Monique was not saying that you had to be in like full dress, makeup, and purse and high heels and all of that stuff. That's not what she was saying. She was just basically saying you should have pride in yourself. We're calling each other queens and kings, so we need to own up to those titles, and not just go out looking kind of crazy. Yeah. Hey, Tanya. Hey, cousin. How are you? Thank you for joining. What's your opinion on Monique's little social media um, conversation about women going out with bonnets and pajamas on, and they're going, oh, you absolutely hate it. Do you see a lot of it? And Tanisha, hey, I've been very busy, which is definitely why I haven't been to Zoom. But you know what? I assume that. I know, I know that. But miss you all the same. But glad you joined the show, Tanisha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Tanya, you say you absolutely hate it. What do you hate about it? What is it? What does it represent for women, um, especially black women, to see other women? What are your feelings when you see other women in bonnets and pajamas and all of that type of stuff? That's what I would like to know, your perspective. For me, I just feel like you should always be presentable when you go out because you never know what's going to happen. What if your car breaks down or you but these women were at the airport, so they were actually they were actually in public for going to be in public for a long time because if anybody knows the Atlanta airport, the lines are long. And so you're in the airport, whether you have a layover or you're there early, because you got to be there at least like an hour or two early. So they're actually sitting in public with bonnets and pajamas. Who thinks it's okay out there? That's what I would like to know. Like, who thinks it's okay? And Karen says it's possible that the PJs, bonnet, slipper wearing gang thinks it's presentable or don't care. You're right. That's a good point, Karen. And maybe the people in their lives who do advise them not to go out like that are met with rejection. You're right, Karen, because some people's perception is that, oh, I'm just I look fine. I got my bonnet on, I got my peach, I got some nice, designer pajamas on and some nice designer slippers on. And so they think, "Oh, I'm fine until I get to my destination." They yeah, but everybody's perception is different. Hey, Leah, welcome, welcome. Long time no see. Oh, these comments are coming in fast. Leah says pajamas are not to be worn out in public. Sorry, but no. Seems to be the norm at Walmart. First grade. Okay, and Leah, we'll get to that second question, but Leah's jumped into that second question already. No, first graders should not be taught anything about sex. I'd pull my kid out immediately. And that's the second question that we haven't gotten to that one, but thanks, Leah. We're gonna keep that one. We're gonna post your comment up to the top of there. And Tanya says, "I'm home. It's home attire, just not a good look." So it seems like everybody on here is agreeing that women shouldn't go out in public with bonnets and pajamas and slippers. And just keep in mind those things are made for going to bed or lounging around the house, right? That's funny. Welcome, Chris. What's going on, sir? Chris says it's a woman's preference, but I feel that there are clothes and attire that is for the house and clothes for public display. Pajamas and slippers are for the house. So we all are kind of in agreement that those things are not appropriate to be out in public. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, let's see what we got. Thank you, Tanya, for sharing. Thank you, Cuz, for sharing the video. But yeah, and Monique was saying she was saying that you don't have to be for those people who just joined. She was saying you don't have to be dressed, and like Chris said, it is the woman's preference, but you want to, like Monique was saying, you want to represent yourself because you know you want to have pride in yourself, so you want to make sure that you're presentable when you go out. And like Tanil was saying earlier, like for the older folks, like me and myself, and we were just taught that anytime you go out, you make sure you look presentable, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know if there's a business opportunity out there. You never know if you're going to meet your husband or your wife. You never know if so many opportunities, and you can miss out on those things just by the way you're dressed. So, and like I was getting back to, Monique was saying, you don't have to be dressed in full makeup, heels, uh, wigs and all that stuff. Just go out enough that you're presentable and that, just in case something happens too. What if you get stuck out there? The mess. Good stuff. and And Tanya says the ones that she's seen, that they're the pajamas and all of that stuff has to be dingy. Also are dingy and dirty at the same time, which is horrible. Which means you probably just crawled out of bed, threw something on. So what do y'all think about a quick run to the store and come back? Is that okay? Say, for instance, you just got to run and pick up some milk for breakfast. So you just throw on your bonnet and your pajamas and your slippers and you run out. Is that acceptable? And what about the men, y'all? The do rags and the sagging pants. Tennille brought that up because this society, we're in, we always look at the woman and we always, want them to be perfect and have to do everything. What about the men going out with things like that? And Tennille says, I say generational because my 17-year-old niece likes to wear the bonnet in public. Excuse me, I let her know that's fine, but she can't wear it if she is with me because she represents me. Same for my nephew with the do rag. Good. So you see that this is a generational thing. But where did they get that from? Is that being displayed on TV? Is that because I hadn't seen anything like that. But that's a good point. The younger people, and I wonder why they think it's okay. Is it a style? Is it a fashion? Is it who knows? And Tanisha's like, no, no, no. And Karen says, quick run or not. So Tanisha and Karen are like, no, no, no to the quick run. You should never go out like that, no matter what. Quick run or not, Karen says, put on something decent. I put on decent clothes to run to the laundry room downstairs. I agree. That's my opinion too. I agree that you should always be presentable because you never know who you may run into, what business opportunities you may miss out on. I'm never gonna walk up to someone and say to them, "Why are you wearing that?" I mean, but I think women and men should always be presentable when they go out in public. And maybe that's just telling my age or something like that. But yeah, 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 yeah. Good stuff. So we all are in agreement with women shouldn't be decent is the way to go. Yep, Tanisha. I say that too. I agree. I agree. Now, let's go to this second question. So there is and anytime you still want to chime in about the first question, you can do so. So we just topic hop. That's what we call it, topic hop Fridays, because we topic hop from one topic to the next. And so Karen says, I think it's an entitlement issue. We grew up being told how to dress. The new generation rejects what they are told. Yes, but Karen, do you think too is that being represented on TV? Is that a part of the culture of where this is what we do. We go out, it doesn't matter. I think most people are like, okay, I'm going to the airport, so I don't need to be in my any nice clothes. I need to feel comfortable. This flight might be long and I just want to be comfortable and when I get to my destination. But you're not only looking like that in the city that you're in, but when you fly to the other city or wherever country or wherever place you're going, you're going to represent yourself when you get off that plane that same way. Chris says one of my male coworkers went to the corner store on Sunday and wore pajama pants and slippers, and someone criticized him. I told him he should have been criticized being a 50-year-old man dressing like that. Yeah, so it goes for the men too. You should always be presentable because I don't think it should. This is just a woman thing. It should be for men. And Desi Edwards, welcome, 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 Desi. And you're saying no, it's not acceptable for women to go out in public in pajamas and slippers and bonnets. And so again, for people just coming on, so we're talking about Monique, the comedian. She got on she got on Instagram, social media in general, and just talked about how when she went to the airport, she saw so many women in bonnets, slippers, and pajamas, and she was just amazed, and she felt like you don't have pride in yourself when you walk outside and you represent yourself that way. And she was just saying people call her auntie, so she was like she could give that auntie advice and put that information out there. And so that's how I got this topic, and I thought it was interesting. But I also wanted to include like men, because men do go out inappropriate with do rags and pants hanging down and all of that type of stuff. So I wanted to include that too because I didn't want it to seem like we were just focused on the women, because it goes both ways. You should always just be presentable going out. And Tanil says it's the culture, social media trends, and they don't have professional jobs. Plus, they hate people telling them what to do. Right. And so it's almost like that's a good point, Tanil. It's almost like a challenge to like I can wear. It's like that entitlement thing that we were talking about. I can wear whatever I want to when I go out, and I can do whatever I want to do when I go out. Good stuff. So our second topic. I'm going to throw up there. And then Karen says, yes, the culture dresses that way. Professor I know said it started on college campuses with the students who were live on campus were allowed to be that casual. Oh, wow. I would never have went to a college, one of my college courses in pajamas. That's just, yeah, that's a no. Um, but you're right, Karen. And a lot of trends do start college campuses. Were they going to class and that stuff? That's horrible. And Tanisha says this generation is so rebellious. Yes. Yes. They have their own mindset. Like and you can't say anything to them. It's like whatever. They're like, this is what I'm going to do no matter what. I mean, and I like part of that. I like people to stand up for themselves. I do. But you're making yourself, you're representing yourself in a negative way, I think, when you're out in the street with things that are classified as things that are made to be worn to bed or around the house or whatever. And Karen, Tennille says that's a good point. That the culture dresses that way. Professor I know said it started on college campuses with the students who live on campus were allowed to be that casual. Yes, all of y'all are making good points. It seems like we're all in agreement that when you go out, no matter what length of time, no matter where you're going, that you should be presentable in some kind of clothes. Bottom line. So I agree too. I agree with that anyway. And then when I listened to Monique's speech, some people got offended, but I felt like she clarified herself, saying I didn't mean that you need to go out in full makeup and heels and all that stuff. But yeah. So our second topic, and Walmart is breeding ground for this type of dysfunction. Yep, Chris, and that's what Leah said earlier, is that you see this in Walmart all the time. And do you think because this Walmart is considered like I won't say just like your neighborhood store, I was gonna say ghetto, or kind of everybody goes there any kind of way or whatever. So do you think that's a part of that culture, the Walmart culture, is come as you are? So we haven't seen that in churches yet, have we? That would be something else too. Going to church in a bonnet and pajamas, and the church women and the church men would have a fit on that one, right? Ah, okay. Next topic is parents at a New York school are upset because their first graders were being shown a video about masturbation. Do you think this is too soon to introduce sex education to kids? And Leah started on this one already. She kind of said that if her child were at this school, they would be pulled out. And keep in mind, this was a private school. And I don't even know if and I have to go back and read the article. I don't know if the parents were notified that the children would be watching this video or not. I don't know. But you guys, I put a snippet or a screenshot of the actual article so you can go pull that and read it. But it was a private school. There's this video, and it, I guess, goes into detail about, you know, masturbation. I just classified it as a sex course or whatever. Karen says, yes, back in early 2000s, the professor said it started, and because they didn't want to be accused of sexual harassment, they didn't say anything to the students out of fear. Okay, and so I guess 2000 is a long time. So I guess they just carried on, carried on that style. Because to me, I feel like the bonnets, and we topic hop everybody, so don't get confused. We're back on the bonnets and stuff. So I think they look at it as a style, and once you know how a style or a trend, I think one of y'all said that once that goes off, that takes a while to kind of process through society until it's dead. So hopefully this is dead, but the sagging pants is still a thing. The do rag is still a thing and hasn't died, and we wish it would. But hey, um, Tanisha, we're back to topic two. Let me put that up there so it'll be on the screen. There we go. Yeah. So, back to the topic of parents at a New York school are upset because their first graders were being shown a video about masturbation. Do you think it's too soon to introduce sex education to kids? Like I said, Leah said earlier, she thinks it does. She thinks that's too early and she would pull her kid from that course and then from that class. And then Tanisha says, yes, it's entirely too soon. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't know. Uh Tennille says, what was the message? I thought they didn't start sex ed until middle school. I did too, Tennille, because that's when we did it. I remember Lindsay Middle School, and that's when we had sex education courses. This was a private school. I do know that it was a private school in New York, and private schools sometimes they have their own rules and they make their own things. And maybe somebody that was on a board decided that hey, we need to start introducing sex education to our children at an earlier age so that they know what is happening in society. I don't know all the details of that. I think it's still being discussed, but I do know I don't think the parents gave their permission. I think it was just somebody saw the video or somebody reported it back to one of the parents or something. And yeah, but check out that clip that I attached. I mean, the clip of the screenshot of the article, and I think it gives a little bit. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see if I, yeah. Oh, no, not there. Let me see if I can find it on my Facebook page really quick. I thought it was an interesting topic. I think it's too soon too. You know, because you get the kids to start exploring. But I'm sure. Does anybody think it's okay? That's what I would like to know. And that's your prerogative if you do. We're not gonna judge you. We don't do that here. We like different opinions. Some parents from a ritzy New York City private school are fuming mad after learning first graders were learning about masturbation and also told their parents and grandparents should not touch them without their consent. So that's part of the message was, I guess, protecting them from adults that could be potential molesters. But I don't get the connection of talking about masturbation. I don't see. Okay, so Tennille read the article, so I'm gonna. Okay, Tanya says I had the conversation on my page yesterday. Karen says it's too soon. I will pull my child, but of course, put pull my child out of that course as well, just like Leah said. And Tennille says, okay, I read the article. It was a cartoon to address questions kids had about touching themselves and their bodies. Oh, so it was kind of addressing I guess a kind of exploration stage because at some stage, I mean, at some ages, kids do explore. Where did they get the word masturbation from? I wonder. You know, I need to pull up that full article. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Anything else in that article, Tennille, that stands out? That's New York private school. Okay, I found it. Let's see. Okay, so it was a cartoon, like you said, Tennille, and a little boy in the video was asked about erections. How come sometimes my penis gets big sometimes and points in the air? The boy adds, sometimes I touch my penis because it feels good. And then the little girl chimes in, sometimes when I'm in my bath or when mom puts me to bed, I like to touch my vulva too. Um, what do y'all think about that? I think that's a bit. I think that's a bit too much. I don't think it's too soon. I just think it was the wrong approach. So that's what Tanya says. She doesn't think it was too soon. She thinks it was the wrong approach. And definitely, I don't understand why would you teach a child masturbation? It is again. It. I'm against it as an adult. So why would you teach a child that? Interesting. Um, And Tennille says, yes, the boy asks why he got an erection and why it feels good when he touches him. And I was just reading that. I think that's a bit, I don't know what about y'all, but I think that's too much for I agree that you should talk about people, adults touching you inappropriately because I think that should be taught at an early age. I feel like kids need to know that in case they run into a stranger or somebody who is inappropriately touching them. And because if they don't know that that's inappropriate, then they could be being molested and never say anything. So I do think part of that should be discussed. I honestly do. Now the masturbation part, I don't know how the two connect. I Yeah, but I still too. I think you should have gotten permission from the parents, a permission slip, a signature, or something like that. Tennille says, I think the parents should have had the opportunity to give permission because some kids may not be aware, and now they've decided let me explore, etc. Exactly, Tennille. And me and you were thinking that you typed that, and I was saying it at the same time. I think there should have been. Do they even have permission slips anymore, or am I telling my age? But permission slips. Anytime we did anything in school, elementary school, middle school, even high school, you had to. We had to get our parents to um, sign a permission slip. And so I don't understand. Maybe the private school, maybe the parents sign some kind of document or something that allows them to kind of do whatever. I know they have different requirements and things like that for um, private schools. So the parents were not aware that this film was going to be shown. I don't think so, Tanya, because they got pissed from it. So let me read a little bit more. Um, Let's see. Some parents were bent out of shape over this, according to the New York Post, but the real anger was triggered over consent. The students reportedly are taught not to let their parents or grandparents touch them without asking for permission first. A mother told the Post, I am paying 50,000 to these a-holes to let my kid not to let her grandfather hug her when he sees her. Another mother grossed if she fought back, she'd get canceled. A school spokesman said, as parents of Dalton's comprehensive health curriculum for students, a lesson on gender and bodies include two evidence-based and age-appropriate videos approved for students 4 years and older. These videos align with the national recognized methodologies and standards. We consistently review our health curriculum, making sure that the content is developmental, appropriate, and if necessary, we adapt our curriculum accordingly. So I don't see where it's saying, I just assumed that the parents didn't know because they were upset. Or was it that the kids came home and just um who knows? Did the kids just go home, Mommy, we saw this video, or Daddy, we saw this video, such and such and such. I wonder how that. I'm assuming that the parents didn't know if they were upset about it. I'm sure there was no consent given, and I'm sure it was because it's a private school. They felt like they could just because, like I just read, they felt like it was um appropriate. It was an appropriate curriculum. It's evidence based, which means they've tested it with I guess other children, and it seems to be effective. The information that was shared, I don't know. Right, Tennille, I just read that $50,000 for a first grade class. I'd be outraged too. Right, that's what that article just said. These parents paid $50,000 for a class. So when you think they would have had some kind of consent, I would have thought. And Karen says, I think they needed to adapt that curriculum then. And Karen, you mean they needed to change it to be more appropriate? Is that what you're saying, Karen? I think. Yeah, because what I just read, I don't know if that's. I don't know. I think it. I don't know. And so it seems like some of the children went home, maybe telling the grandparents or the parents, "You can't hug me, because that's inappropriate," or So it sounds like the kids interpreted the information in a different way, which probably wasn't appropriate. And the parents are like, "Hey, my kid is saying that her grandparents can't hug her or him or whatever." Interesting topic though, but I'm still stuck, like you said, to deal this $50,000 for a class. Yeah. So both two interesting topics, that everybody. I'm sure it seems like we're all in agreement on both. Well, some people said that they feel like it's okay to have your kid be presented some of that information, but just in a different way, which is kind of what Karen was saying. She thinks that the curriculum needs to be adjusted to where it is more appropriate, and she just agreed, yes. And then we agreed that back to topic one, that women or men should always, everybody should present themselves in a respectful manner when they go out in public. Like I said, you don't have to be, well, like Monique said, you don't have to be dressed to the nines. But so good stuff. So anything else before we close out? We're getting to that 50 mark. But thank you all for joining. It was a great topic. Thank you for taking the time on a Friday night to sit and talk to me. Glad you're back, Tennille. Again, congratulations on your new job. Exciting, exciting, exciting. But everybody have a good weekend and practice self care. Self care is actually intentionally taking care of yourself, doing something that you want to do for yourself. We often get caught up in doing stuff for everybody else, but we never take the time to sit down and see how we're feeling about ourselves and practice some self care. Take a bubble bath, do a facial, go for a walk, whatever that looks like for you. But self care is very important. It can help you reduce stress, it can help you reduce just keeping your mental health in check as well. So, thank you, everybody, and have a great Friday. And I will talk to y'all next week. All right. And you're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. They were great topics. Great topics. All right. Bye.